I've told somebody this in private discussions, but when I filed my U.S. and worldwide patents on this material, I described it as the orange state. But I said that is the atom. Now, a mini-atom system of the orange material I called S-orms. And I said it's like a superconductor. It resonates in 2 dimensions. Well, I used the word like a superconductor. And they let me file worldwide. Then like 5-6 months later, I find out through a communication to my patent attorney that they just found out that if it involves superconductivity, the Department of Defense has to approve it before he can file outside the U.S. But the patent office made a mistake and they let me file anyway. So now the Department of Defense wants to talk to me. And let me tell you, you don't want to get involved with these people. You got to have 50-man secretarial staff just to answer the paperwork. I mean, it's unbelievable. Anyway, they sent an investigator out to talk to me and my attorney, and I wasn't a public company. I wasn't a company. It wasn't even a company per se. I was a private individual, and there was nothing they could do to me. They couldn't control me. They couldn't make me do anything. They couldn't threaten me. I was a private individual. So what they did is they went back to the patent office. They said, look, and I was issued in probably 30% of the countries around the world. They just issued it, no problem. But in this country, and then in Canada, and I think England, and anyway, several other countries, they're bigger countries, they depend on the U.S. to issue before they'll issue. And so they're waiting for the U.S. to say, okay, we're going to let you have it. They said, Dave, before we let you go to a patent issued, we want you to take gold. Now they specified gold, not iridium, not platinum. They said gold. We want you to take it to a laboratory totally not associated with you and have that laboratory make the white powder of gold. I'm just a dirt farmer. I don't know who to take it to. And I said, how about Argonne National Laboratories? Are they okay? Do they qualify as a credible laboratory, your own national laboratories? They said, well, I guess. What can they say? So anyway, I took this to Argonne National Laboratories. I met with Roger Popel. Yeah, Roger Popel, head of ceramics and superconductivity at Argonne National Laboratory back in Chicago, just outside of Chicago. Boy, that's a cold place back there. Anyway, he said, great, Dave, you know, I think this is really exciting. You know, he thought it was neat, and I told you about some of the phenomena we observed. He said, Dave, this is really exciting. But he submitted it for approval, because it has to be approved by his Department of Appropriations that pays for everything. And they said, Dave, we don't want to do this because Argonne National Laboratories was set up to do only work that can't be done by private industry. And so they said, you really ought to take it to a private company. And I said, but Roger, I don't know of a private company. Who do I go that's somebody totally independent of me that's willing to do this? And so he said, look, Dave, I know some people that used to work with me here at Argonne that are back in Massachusetts that are willing, that I'll call and talk to, and they'll do this for you. And he said, I know a guy, he worked with me here at Argonne. His name is Stephen Daniluk. And so this right here, he said, I am very sorry to inform you that the careful review of my proposal for the work on ORMs, Argonne management has decided that Argonne's capability in this area is not sufficiently unique for Argonne to undertake the proposed work. I think my enthusiasm for this project work blinded me to the simple fact that they are
correct in their judgment.
In particular, the University of Illinois Chicago has all the
instrumentation
and integrity you require. I suggest you contact Professor Stephen Daniluk, University of Chicago. Well, Stephen Daniluk, when we contacted him, he gave me his address, his phone number. I called him, and he was working on another project right then. But he says, I have an associate, a Michael McNallen, that I work with that will do it for you. So Stephen wasn't able to do it, but then Michael McNallen said he'd do it. He'd sign the affidavit and send to the patent office. So if you go to the next page. All right, this is Michael McNallen. This is his resume. which I only provide to you for you to see that he has a degree, high temperature chemistry of materials, including injection, re-refining of liquid metals, solution and corrosion of metals and alloys, high temperature corrosion in halogens containing environment. Anyway, his experience, University of Chicago professor of material sciences, Center for Advanced Materials in the Pennsylvania State University, visiting professor, University of Illinois at Chicago, associate professor of metallurgy. Anyway, those are all his credentials. The education, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, PhD in metallurgy. So the only reason I can give you this paperwork is this is the guy we went to confirm that yellow gold could be made into the white powder gold, and to report that to the patent office. Okay? A lot of you people said that other people hadn't provided credentials. I'm giving you credentials for my work. It's not my work, it's their work. Anyway, this is his affidavit, which is not all of it, but it's the relevant part. I couldn't get it all on 2 pages, so the notary and all is over here for you to see. But anyway, what it boiled down to is he took the yellow metal, he bought the gold, he actually made it into the white powder using procedures that I provided to him over the phone, and he's confirming that it analyzed to be exactly what I said it would analyze to be, silicon aluminum. And he says, I have no explanation for this because it began with gold. I used not reagent grade, he used electronic grade chemicals, which is even purer yet. And he says, I have a white material here, and it literally, it analyzes exactly the way Mr. Hudson said it would analyze, and therefore I cannot say that he is not correct in what he's representing. Signed it and notarized it and sent it to the patent office. Well, then the patent office decided they wanted me to do something else for them. I know this is the Department of Defense, and what they're trying to learn is everything about it. Okay, now they dictate to me that I must take gold, white powder, and convert that back to yellow metal. Now, people, I don't know, most of you probably wouldn't be aware of this, but in this United States, right now today, I bet you there's 6,000 miners, or people in the mining system, the industry, that give their right arm to know how to convert the white powder gold to yellow metal. Believe me, there are people out there, and these are some wacky people, some of them. Anyway, just for the record, I want to show this to you too, people, because this is another instrumental analysis. This was actually performed for me, Mark Scudder of the Laura Scudder potato chips family. His mom started Laura Scudder potato chips, but his family was literally Allied Signal in Long Beach, California. You all know Signal Oil, Allied Signal? Anyway, big money, very wealthy people. Anyway, they have connections with Allied Signal. When Allied Signal actually merged and went together with, who was it? Anyway, I don't remember now. Anyway, we had them do this. It's called differential thermal analysis, DTA. And what this first line is a heating of the pan up to temperature, which is just simple, heating a pan up to temperature and monitoring the temperature and seeing the heat that goes into it. When you put our material into the pan and heat it, this is the way it looks. So what happens, it starts out, reasonably the same, but right here, it really, you have to keep heating and keep heating and keep heating, and it's not getting any hotter. And then finally it starts climbing up, and then finally it comes back, and from here on it's normal. So what I did is I put these two transparencies on top of each other for the next slide. And just go to the next one. All right, and I apologize because when you put them on top of each other, you're kind of messing up the letters. But you can see the difference in it now. It actually comes back together here, but it's really apart here, and then it comes back. Well, what does this mean? What this means is it's indicative of a phase change in the material. It's not the same material here as it is here. It is changing phase at this point. It is going to a different phase of material. Okay, that's the only significance of this, but I want to show it to you. There is physical phase change of the material.